I'll start with the introductions. So I am Cassidy Reynolds. I work for Cure Sanfilippo Foundation. I'm the Community Outreach and Education Coordinator. My job is to talk to families, get to know you guys, and provide any assistance that I possibly can to you all. So it's great to talk to you guys today. Jace, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Jace.
How old are you, bud?
8.
Nice.
I'm Sarah Kohlmorgan. I'm Jace's mom, and we're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Jace, thank you so much for introducing yourself. Great job. Jace, can you tell us a little bit more? When you play baseball, where do you play baseball? Do you play in the outfield? Are you on first base? Tell us about what you like to do with baseball.
On outfield.
Okay. Do you get to catch the ball in the outfield?
No.
No. Do you like to be in the outfield or do you like to hit the ball?
I like to hit the ball.
Cool. Tell me, do you have a lot of friends on your baseball team that you play with?
Well, I have one.
What's your best friend's name?
James.
James. And he plays baseball with you?
Yeah.
So fun. Do you do any other fun things with James?
Well, we have play dates and go places.
What places do you like to go?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Fun. I love Chuck E. Cheese. What games do you play at Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, pretty much any games.
Uh-huh.
You like the Luigi Haunted Mansion game?
Yeah, I like the Luigi's Haunted Mansion game.
That's so fun. I like to play the one where you throw the basketballs and try to I'm not very good, but I like that one. That's fun. Where do you guys like to go together as a family? Do you like to go out to eat anywhere or go to any fun places?
I don't know.
Where's your favorite place that you go?
Mm,
You like when we go swimming?
yeah, I like when we go swimming.
Or to the playground?
Yeah, kind of.
Like both.
The man, a few words.
Jace, now I know you play video games. What video games do you play?
I play Roblox.
Okay. Anything else?
Tell her what you like watching on TV.
I like to watch Luigi's Haunted Mansion.
He likes to watch other people play the Luigi's Haunted Mansion. It's a video game.
Yeah.
He loves to watch people do it.
You know what, Jace? Guess what? I play Luigi's Haunted Mansion. I really like that game. That's the one where you have the vacuum and you get to suck up the ghosts in your vacuum, right?
Yeah.
That game is so fun.
I think you became his new favorite person.
I actually really do like that game a lot. It's so fun. It's really hard. I did stop playing, but it can be really fun. What other games do you like to play? Or any other games you like to watch people play, Jace?
Well, I like when they play a Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, Super Mario Odyssey. I love that one too. So fun.
And I saw someone else play Luigi's Galaxy.
Okay.
Because you have to get a bunch of star pieces to do a different character thing. So, they earned the Luigi one, and that's how they got it.
That sounds fun. It sounds like you really like Luigi.
Yeah, I'm having a birthday of Luigi Luigi's Haunted Mansion.
His birthday party theme is Luigi's Haunted Mansion.
That's so fun. It does sound like you really like Luigi. He's a really fun character, and he's in a lot of games. Yeah.
And tell me here how you like soccer too. You're gonna play soccer in the fall?
Yeah, and I like soccer. And I'm thinking of being a famous soccer player.
Ooh. Do you like to watch soccer players on TV?
No.
No. But you might grow up to play soccer.
Yeah.
Fun. That's so fun. What do you like about soccer? Do you like running and kicking the ball?
Yeah, I like that part. But
That's
my least favorite part about it is when people get the get the ball and I'm always can't get there most of the times and there's just not enough space for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to get the ball. You got to get right in there to get it. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jace, are you going to go back to school soon?
Yeah.
How do you feel about going back to school? Are you excited? Are you scared? Are you happy, sad?
Oh no. Kind of.
Mom, how does Mom feel about Jace going back to school?
See, we're looking forward to it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going in the 4th grade. And we've got a good teacher this year.
Yeah.
And we've got all of our resources lined up.
Yeah, because all the kids said and that the teacher that I have is nice.
We like a nice teacher. That's a good thing.
And we've got all of our things lined up for our IEP, so we're ready to go. All of our resources lined up.
Yeah.
Good to hear that.
More you want to talk about?
Well,
okay.
No. Jace, thank you so much for talking to me. I really love to hear all about the games you like to play and all of your sports. It was really fun. We have some questions. All right, Sarah, I do have some questions for you. Would you like me to ask them to you with Jace?
Do you want to go downstairs and play?
I want to go there and play.
Okay. Can you say goodbye real quick?
Bye.
Bye, Jace.
Nice to meet you.
Good job, bud. Can you shut the door?
Bye.
Thank you.
You did great.
Yeah, he did really good. That was
I
really,
like that.
I was kind of surprised at how much he focused.
You have shared a little bit about Sanfilippo to your family and to your community. What is the most common question people ask you about Sanfilippo syndrome?
I think especially with Jace, we get a lot of questions because he does look typical and he does kind of present as a normal kid. And so he doesn't look like the kids that you see when you Google Sanfilippo, or you maybe have followed someone else's story and he doesn't quite fit that mold. And so we get a lot of questions like, oh, he looks normal, so he must be fine, or he's not that bad. Why are you making a big deal out of it? And so for me, it wasn't so much about the Sanfilippo itself. It was just to get him the resources from day one of what he needed. And so when we started our journey, it wasn't to find a diagnosis. It was just to get him caught up to where we thought he needed to be. So we started when he was born, he had his eyes weren't tracking. And so we started there with ophthalmology, and then his speech wasn't on track. So we started with speech, and then we started with PT and then OT. And then we started seeing a trend and saying like, this is a lot that like, he's got a lot of deficiencies. He's not catching up where he needs to be. And we've been in therapy now for, when he was 2, we've been in some therapies for a year or 2, and like, we're not getting the progress that we think we should be getting. And as we kept going to doctors and specialists, because we kept getting referred to additional people, I would see that maybe there's something more to this. Maybe it's not just, a speech issue or a feeding issue or a delay, or, maybe there's something else. And he would have these kind of weird jerky movements. Then we went to go see neurology, and neurology's like, I can't really put my finger on it. Like, there's something there. He's got these weird tics, almost like tremors and movements, but there's, we don't know what it is. And so to me, it was never about getting him labeled as anything. And it's still not about the label to me. It's about his journey and getting him the help he needs. But when we did get the diagnosis of Sanfilippo, we were so grateful to have an answer and say, okay, I'm not crazy. This is something. And then when we found the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation, it took me a while before I even wanted to invest into looking into it, because I read about what Sanfilippo is and what it could be, and it was so heartbreaking that I couldn't bring myself to acknowledge that at first. And so when I was able to do that, I think it was probably a year after we got a diagnosis, I started looking into it and following other kids on social media. We followed Sadie's story, we followed Crew's story, and I was like, okay, I can invest in these kids, and then in a sense I'm helping the foundation and helping myself. And then I still had kind of an imposter syndrome that he's not like this, and so we're not there yet, and I shouldn't ask for help because he's not as bad, or he doesn't look like these kids. And so I think it took me a while to then get over that barrier of, we don't need the help, we don't deserve the help because we're not there. And so once I finally crossed that border and say, you know what, you wouldn't tell a cancer patient that their cancer is not severe enough. You wouldn't tell someone with MS that their MS is not severe enough. So why is this any different? And why does Jace not deserve all of the best treatment? And I said that I would do anything I could to help him, and here I am. And I was just so grateful to find the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation, because it's given me a sense of community. It's given me a sense of hope. It's given me a ton of resources and support that even our specialists with genetics and neurology, they are not able to bring us. And so I'm just so grateful for you guys and for this community where we get to be a part of.
Well, we're definitely thankful that you were able to reach out to us and find that support that you were looking for. And you're right, Jace is in a different situation than a lot of people see online. So would you mind telling us a little bit about when you first saw genetics and the difference that Jace has a more attenuated version? Would you mind explaining kind of what that means and what that looks like for Jace, and how you've seen that in other kids that are type A?
Yeah, so with Jace, he looks like, when you first meet him, he looks like a typical kid. He doesn't have a lot of the same appearances as other kiddos with Sanfilippo. And he the more you watch him, the more you work with him, the closer you take a look at him. We do realize that he does have a lot of those traits. As you can see, when he was sitting on my lap, he was not able to sit still. He was moving around quite a bit. He doesn't have the ability to maintain I don't know how I want to put this, basically the muscle control in his body. And so he's kind of all over the place. He falls a lot. He runs into things quite a bit. He hits his head quite a bit because of the way he presents. Even when he speaks too, he is very there's motor issues when he speaks. We thought maybe it was a speech impediment or a stammer or a stutter. And when we went to the Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center, we realized that was not the case. It was more of a motor issue, which kind of fits with the rest of his presentation, that he has gross motor issues, fine motor issues. So of course the speech motor that kind of fits along with it. So his biggest issues in presentation are motor issues and developmental delays. We have seen some regression in the last year, where currently we're dealing with some bathroom issues, where he was fully potty trained, which is again atypical for a Sanfilippo kid. And we got him potty trained, and now we're seeing, he's having accidents and he's having issues with urgency that he doesn't realize that he has to go to the bathroom. We're having issues with him getting tired very easily, which is new for us. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see, because we don't know what that's going to mean in the future. And I think that's one of the hardest things about being a parent with Sanfilippo is you see other kids, you see other families, and you don't know if that's your journey, if it's going to, how quickly it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. And with his attenuated case, like, I don't want to take away from their journey, but I also want to be there for my son. And it's still hard, it's still difficult, even with his case, to see him struggle that he can't play baseball with the other kids. So he was saying how he plays baseball. We actually have to pull him out. He doesn't know this yet, but we're going to have to pull him out next year because he just can't keep up with the other kids. And so we're looking at Lake County has a Miracle League that we can put him in, which is great. And I think that the more resources we have, the better. But it's going to be a difficult conversation if he understands that he's different and he sees the other kids. And it's kind of a blessing and a curse with the Sanfilippo that he may not know that he's different, or he may know that he's different. And so he's kind of at a weird spot in his life where I'm not sure if he's going to get upset about that or not, or if he's even aware of that or not. But he's not able to keep up with the other kids, and that's why they put him in the outfield, because they were afraid he was going to get hurt. Because he's not paying attention, he's not focusing, he's staring off or having staring spells. And so it becomes a little more difficult.
So how is everyone in your family kind of, I mean, you kind of touched on that. How are you guys coping with this? You, your husband, Emma, Jace, all of you, your extended family, how are you guys coping with this?
It's been difficult. In the earlier parts of his testing and doctor's appointments, I felt like I was very alone. My mom's a registered emergency room nurse, and she was very supportive, but she would just think it was just treating that one issue. She never once thought it was something big. And when I mentioned it to her, she's like, "Oh no, you're being dramatic. You don't know what you're talking about." And so it was kind of hard not to have that support. My husband, unfortunately, lost a nephew to leukemia when he was 20 months old, when my husband was in high school. And I think he was kind of in denial as far as there was something wrong. And so, like, when we were looking at speech issues, he's like, "Well, I had speech issues and I'm fine." And I turned out okay. Or, "I don't know why you're going to all these doctor's appointments. Like, you're looking for something." And I'm like, "I'm not trying to go to these doctor's appointments. I don't want to go to these doctor's appointments. I'm just doing what they asked me to do." And there were times where, they would recommend like a biopsy of, a muscle biopsy. And I was like, "No, if that's not going to help or get us some good answers, I don't want to put him through that." And so there were things I did turn down because I think they were too intense. Mm-hmm. And so it was really difficult at times where I felt like, well, am I crazy? Am I looking for something? Am I making it a big deal? Then it doesn't need to be. But then, the mom intuition was kicking in, and I was like, no, there is something there. There is a reason we're going through this. I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to do what's right for my child, because I'd rather be labeled as dramatic or extra than and hopefully there's nothing there, mm-hmm. rather than ignore it and then there's something there. So in the first part, it was really difficult. But then in the last couple of years, when we got the diagnosis, I actually switched jobs and we switched hospital systems, and we got a second set of eyes on Jace, which was nice to have. And we confirmed the diagnosis and got some more resources and additional perspectives on things. And I think that's kind of when my husband kicked it into gear and was like, "Oh, okay, this is something, more serious." My mom was very on board. My sister's like, "I've got your back, whatever you need." She's been kind of my day one kind of girl. And then with the extended family, I don't think they realized what it was and kind of had a full grasp on it until we actually got hooked up with the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation. And it was nice because I was able to just say, here's the information, rather than having to try to explain everything, and how, because his case is a little bit different, we don't know what it's going to look like. But they can read it on their own, they can process it on their own, and then they can come up and ask questions. They can come up and, and spend time with Jace or reach out to Jace. And it's been really nice because we've had family members who I haven't seen in a year or two, just because we have kids, they have kids. It's just, life happens and things are busy. And they've been reaching out and asking if they could take Jace fishing or if they can spend time with Jace. And so it's been really a good sense of community within the Sanfilippo Foundation, but also it's brought our family closer together to kind of rally behind Jace, and it's been wonderful to have that and not feel like I was kind of alone in this journey.
And what do you feel like within your family when you got that diagnosis? What changes did that, did you make any changes within your family once you heard Sanfilippo is the diagnosis and this you started researching and these are the changes that may come? What kind of things changed within your family, immediate family structure?
I wouldn't say a whole lot changed. We're a very tight-knit family. We were very active. The only thing that I would say that changed is the what ifs. Like, what if we need to look into this? What if we need to look into getting him more adaptive things? What if we need to get him a wheelchair? Those kind of things like down the road. And I tend to plan. I like to have my checklist, and I like to plan and have an A, B, and C plan. And obviously, with Sanfilippo, you can't do that. You can kind of have a tentative plan, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And this has definitely kept me on my toes to accept that I'm not in control of things. And so I think that my husband has been really great about grounding me into saying, like, okay, well, we'll figure it out as we get there. And then having this family support that has, especially the newfound support since we joined the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation, and we have our website and we have all of the resources. We have a lot more people in our tribe to help us. And so it's been really nice that if things happen, it's not me kind of explaining things on the back end. People know what's going on and they're willing to help. And then I'm not in this journey alone. And it feels like for a lot of parents, you feel like you have to carry it by yourself, and you don't. And so it's been really amazing to have that support.
That's tough. I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional too listening to you talk about it. I mean, we hear a lot of stories, but just every time we hear our families talk about this, it definitely brings up a lot of emotions. And just hearing your heartfelt, just the changes that have gone through and what you're seeing in Jace is just, I really appreciate you opening this up and sharing this with us. I know it's tough, and I just really appreciate it. Have you guys shared any of this with Emma?
We have. We had a lemonade stand for the National Lemonade bake sale, and we had a lemonade stand, and we had a good turnout. But we had to kind of explain why we're doing this and what Sanfilippo is, because we had family members showing up. It says "Cure Jace, Love Jace," on their shirts, and she's a smart girl, and I don't want to leave her in the dark, but I also don't want to add any trauma to her that is unnecessary. And so we've been kind of saying, and she's been coming in tow since day one for doctor's appointments. They're a year and 4 days apart in age. They're like this. They're inseparable. And so, sorry.
Please take your time. You take as much time as you
That's going to be the hardest part with Emma is, she's a smart girl and they're so close, and I don't want her to be hurt. As a parent, you can go through something, but then to lose a child potentially, or have a child decline, and then have to take care of yourself, but then also have to take care of a child, and they're best friends. They're inseparable, and to have that potential of her getting hurt by losing a brother, either if he passes away, or losing a brother because he's no longer with us mentally, or he's able to do things physically and he's not the same person that she knows and loves, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So I think that's probably one of the hardest things as a mom to see.
Does she ask any questions now?
She does, yeah. She's been asking questions for a while. We take her to doctor's appointments. She overhears some things from conversations from parents, and we don't want to shield her from anything. We want to be honest and open with her, but we're keeping things kind of PG for her, where we're telling her just kind of basics, that he needs help, and that's why he goes to the doctors. In some cases, he needs more help than others. And he needs help with his speech, so we go get help with speech. And just like she needs help with tying her shoes, or if she needs help with her math, we get her help with those things. And so she kind of takes that, and that's where we're at with it. So she knows that there's something wrong. She knows it's called Sanfilippo.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that there's other kids with Sanfilippo, and we do look at pictures and we do look at videos of the other kids with Sanfilippo, and we talk about it. But I don't think she understands the depth of what could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that for now. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And Ryan, how old is Emma?
She'll be 10 on the August 21st. So they're a year and 4 days apart.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was over or under.
Yeah, she's a year older.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
But no, I am happy to sit and, you get whatever you want to say off of your chest. I'm here for anything that you want to share with us, but I'm happy to pivot gears a little bit and share some more positive, some other things. Like, what do you guys like to do in your local community? I asked Jace. He likes baseball. He likes going to Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. What else do you guys like to do in your community?
So they're very involved in the community. They actually they go to summer camp every day, and so they're outside swimming and playing. Jace loves dodgeball. He loves just playing games with the other kids. He doesn't have a whole lot of in-depth interaction with the other kids. It's more like the parallel play where he's like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend." I said, "Oh, what's your friend's name?" He's like, "I don't know." So he's there mentally, which is fine. He's the life of the party. He likes to have fun. He's very much lovable, so there's a lot of kids that are drawn to him. And so there's not a lot of true conversations and true deep friendships at this point. And the flip side of that, he's also not fazed by the things that other kids his age are fazed by with the bullying, because he just doesn't get it, which is great. But he loves to go outside and play kickball or dodgeball. He loves to swim. He just finished baseball season. He wasn't a huge fan of that because he thought he was going to get more play time. But it was hard because he wasn't paying attention in the infield, and they were afraid he was going to get hurt. So they put him in the outfield, and he got really bored quickly. So we're going to try soccer in the fall. He's played soccer before and really liked it. So we're hoping that's going to be something he does well at.
It sounds like you keep the kids busy.
Yeah, we try to.
Have a good time. Jace had a lot of things to share about things that he liked. I mean, he had a lot to share with us.
Yeah.
So that's great. What are some sensory items or gear that you feel like is almost like a life hack for Sanfilippo that you've used that you'd recommend?
Honestly, it's not really a sensory gear. He does, when he gets really overstimulated, I try to do big bear hugs or deep pressure with him. I feel like that's really calming for him. Even if we're sitting somewhere, we go to church every Sunday, he really has a hard time sitting still. I might just give him a deep, hard back massage with a fist, which sounds, a little rough, but he absolutely loves it. I feel like he really likes a deep pressure or a big hug, like a big bear hug. He tends to be very rough, where he'll come up and run at you and try to tackle you, which is cute when he was 2, but now he's almost 9 and he's 80 pounds, and that's a lot. I used to call him my little linebacker. I think also he likes to have a lot of blankets or the weighted blankets on him. Mm-hmm. He likes physical touch in any way. He has been chewing on his fingers more often, so I was actually looking into getting him a chewy. But it's one of those things that you do want to cross that bridge, and when you cross it, I think you have to stay over there. And so, it's something as a parent for an attenuated kid, I want to make sure that we're doing the best thing for him. But it's kind of hard to give up those normalcies that you see a kid with a chewy, or you see a kid with something, it kind of marks them as different. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword where you want people to understand that he's got Sanfilippo, he's got this disability, but also you want him to appear normal. You want him to have that normalcy for as long as you can. So you're kind of torn, but I think we're almost there where we have to give him some kind of chewy or something because he can't be chewing on his fingers.
Right. So with that, what you're kind of going through that phase right now. You're really in the middle of, do we cross? Do we stay where we are? What pieces of advice might you give to another family of a child that has Sanfilippo that may be attenuated?
One of the best things that we found so far is reaching out with the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation, we've been able to meet up with other families who are kind of in a similar situation, and we've had heart-to-heart talks. I've been able to text parents and say, hey, is this normal? Did you guys do this? Or when did you guys do this? And some of this stuff hasn't aligned. Like when we started having accidents, I reached out to one of the other parents and said, hey, did you guys have this? And they never potty trained. And so it was like, okay, well, maybe this is something that's different for us. And so I think one of the more important parts of sharing my story is that in case there are families out there where they have attenuated cases and they don't look like they have Sanfilippo, the parents may be hesitant to go get help, or they may be hesitant to go reach out for advice, or they are struggling with a diagnosis themselves. So I want to kind of advocate for that group of kiddos and those families and say, like, hey, we're in the same situation too, and we want to help as much as we can. And I'm here as well if you need someone to lean on and someone to talk to. And so I think the best thing I can say is, reach out to your community, reach out to your tribe, and find someone who understands. And I think the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation has been wonderful at helping me find those resources, because until you've been through it or understand or have someone who's worked with those kiddos, you can find empathy, you can find caring people, but it's hard to find that like true support that they know you're in the trenches with you.
Right. Okay. Take a deep breath. You did a fantastic job